Thank you for the question. Maybe the first thing I'd like to say, guys, pay SARS. Get your tax orders, your tax affairs in order. Right? That's the message that I would like to share with young entrepreneurs. That's a message I would like to have shared more of over the past years. And I've also I'm at fault with a lot of my tax affairs in the past, and I don't want you to go through the same route. Make sure if you're gonna get into self-employment or entrepreneurship, make sure you get a good lawyer and a good accountant from the beginning, from when things are started. Even when you're gonna be an entertainer or a sports star or a footballer or an athlete, make sure that you get your financial affairs in order by getting these two things. Even if you're gonna be an artist or a DJ, even a dancer, anyone, you guys need these two people. Get a legal person and a money person to advise you. Please get yourself an accountant and a lawyer from the beginning of your career. You don't want to think everything is in order up to only to find at a later stage that certain things were not so much in order in the manner in which you thought they were, because you're not trained, to be a money person. You're not trained to be a legal person. So let me just throw that in there. Let me start with that one first. um through the mistakes that one has had, and through the success that one has had in the music industry, I learned that I wanted to do things better. I learned that I did not want more fire um I wanted more fire to be a better business than the business that I had before then, which was TS Records. I wanted Leadership 2020 to be a better business than TS Records. I wanted Mofire to be a better business than Leadership 2020. Now, obviously, being in real estate and all these things that I'm getting into, I want them to even be better than Mofire, because as you grow, you learn more, you know better, and when you know better, you do better. Um, at the time, for me, I mean, I was working for the platform. I was working for Metro FM. I was part of the SABC. I was hosting Friends Like These. Before I was let go from both Friends Like These and my Metro FM radio show, I went up to an awards show, as you say, Metro FM Awards, and I obviously promoted Mo Fire for the first time. Trended, got me suspended. 2 weeks later, got me fired. Got a lot of people talking. Some were on my side, some were criticizing me. A lot of things were learned out of that, but it was a beginning experience of, I would say, a beautiful future. One that would lead one to be forever in the history books in this country. I don't know, in the history books in this country, it'll just be a part of culture that one would have contributed in this country. I don't know whether they look at the music side of my contribution, they look at the business side, or whatever it might be. I just know that what we did will forever be remembered, even if it's not on the history books. But the future of South Africa, we contributed in this entrepreneurship direction as it's taking shape, the direction at which it's going through those decisions that were made then. So that sacrifice wasn't just for my career alone. It was bigger than just also our company. As we were saying earlier on, how many people this Mofire project ended up going on to inspire. And now when you look at musicians, comparing them to 10 years ago, it's different. As much as they still take bags of endorsements, how many of them own their own brands, right? And how many of them did then? None of us. None of us did. It was probably one or two. Limiting, it was maybe just a clothing brand or just t-shirts. It was merch. It wasn't really like solid companies. It was merch. And solid companies that were built by us, not just endorsing. Right? This we had to go and build. And I like the fact that it inspired this culture now where um, musicians, artists, and entertainers, just young people as a whole, it's cool to be an entrepreneur. It's cool to own your own thing. It's cool to build your own thing, but it's not as easy as it may seem or as it's portrayed out there. It's a lot of work. It's a consistent job of solving problems on a daily basis. That's basically what entrepreneurship is. But it's a beautiful thing to see what's going on in the country. It's a beautiful thing, even in the entertainment industry, that one made or took that decision then. I don't know if I didn't take that decision, what I would be doing now. I know that I'm a bright guy. I'd probably still be doing well. If I didn't stop my music career, same thing. I'd probably would be my brother Coffee, my brother Zakes. I'd probably be winning Grammy Awards. If I didn't stop my music career to go build this, I would have been a probably global DJ now, global musician. But I decided to go build a business. I decided to go become a business person and go learn what comes with it. Little did I know I was throwing myself in the most difficult task I've ever had to embark on. I lost everything. I sacrificed everything. Um, Even in the public, my reputation was criticized. Stones were thrown at me. I was written off. Um, my phone was not being answered. People were blue ticking me. People were ghosting me. People that I thought were my friends. You know, people turn on you. Because you're this cool guy who's always in these sports cars. Who's always buying these champagnes and who's DJ Smooth and who's primetime TV, primetime radio, top 10 music, and all of a sudden, you go sell in the streets. it's like, it's like, Smooth alien, man. But, it's like I'm your friend now. I must go pick you up there, go breathe. This weekend, this guy. And now you want lifestyle, about group, about style. So maybe such friends, let's take about Bora, right? Because I just became this guy who, just decided to unplug out of the matrix, like from nowhere. But I guess, ke leboga Modimo. I always say to people, I'm blessed to become a blessing. He's busiso, I followed my name and the decisions that I've taken. I don't regret any of that. Other people say, would you have done it differently? As I did say, if Ntate Hlaudi would have done um, or wanted to approach that decision of implementing that policy differently, he wouldn't have implemented it because exactly what happened would have happened. We would have said no. We would have fought against it. Or capital, or all of those people who benefit on how things are right now or how things have always been, those forces, would have applied power such that those decisions don't get taken. So sometimes you have to be radical. Sometimes decisions just have to be made in a certain way that doesn't make everybody else smile. And that's how we introduce Mofa into the marketplace. Other people are like, it was the wrong way to introduce it like that, but what is the right way? Right? How do I get to appear on SABC? How much is it to be advertising my brand on a 30-second slot during Generations? Can I afford that as a small black-owned business? How many times do we see adverts when we are watching our favorite Skim Sam, Uzalo, Generations, or any of those TV shows that we like so much? How much money do you have to get into that level of competing with all these multinational companies who are pouring out so much millions in advertising? How are we going to compete as black-owned businesses to be on that level? Because we don't have those budgets. We don't have those budgets. So one can say one can say one can say you, Sbu, as a business owner, if one of your employees does such, what would you do? Right? So maybe but I might not know, what was on his mind, when they were making that decision. But now that I'm older, I look at those visuals and some of the things that we did then, jumping into a plane, screaming more fire, selling more fire in the streets, getting fired, jumping into award shows, and just all of the different things that we did them because of the climate of entrepreneurship in the country and just being desperately not having any money, no marketing budget. But it was just a way of getting ourselves out there. So a lot of the decisions were taken to get ourselves out there. I mean, I remember at some point we were almost sued by Kaiser Chiefs because I went to FNB and I knew there was going to be a derby. And a friend of mine, Tsepo Masilela, with some of his other friends, I knew that they were coming into the FNB much earlier. So I drove there in my Porsche, got there full of more fire. Porsche let's more fire, boss. I made sure everyone got more fire t-shirts. Kaiser Chiefs players, and I made sure we all take pictures. Make sure give a kaya more fire there. And needless to say, Tsepo was my friend, and Tsepo had always give him some drinks. And it seemed was like Mfana Yasin. Zahara once like FNB was on drop because I was supposed to drop off some stuff for him. It was actually for him, but he ended up bringing the other guys. Not say food and Mfana, and the picture ended up trending. And Kaiser Chiefs was very pissed off with Mofire, and we got a letter from ENS, one of the legal firms in the country, and we're disciplined. And I look back now, older, I laugh about it. I remember at some point one of the DSTV Delicious events, I was with this Jessica Mdau, Love and respect to my sister, and happy belated birthday to our father and Tate Kezam Dawoon. Thank you for the inspiration, sir. We appreciate your contributions to the country. And we were laughing about it. And old Jessica was telling me, you don't play with a brand like Kaiser Chiefs. And the conversation was around brands. It's like, now imagine Sbu. Now we're obviously laughing about it years later. You built Mofi to be Mofi, and people just come and play around with it, right? You have to be very strict. So when I look back now, I'm like, yo, we pissed off the SABC. We pissed off Kaiser Chiefs. We pissed off a lot of people. You pissed off a lot of people, right? So I guess it was the approach and the manner in which a lot of things were done. Sometimes when you are young, there needs to be some brash or some form of radicalism at some point to get things done. Unfortunately, because of the system that we have. That's why when you look at more young people when they're young, or even revolutionary leaders, when they're young, you get to see how they behave and how they are. And as they mature and as they get older, they become the great Ntate Mandela. But when he was young, he was very radical. He was brash in his approach also. He wasn't only just an intelligent lawyer who was, a professional with decorum, but he was also very radical in his speech. He was young, right? And that's the energy that we also oozed. We were oozing young, youthful, creative, hungry energy. And we did things the way we did them. So I can't say I regret it or I don't. But I don't regret anything that has happened in my life, because it has brought me to be sitting here in front of you and be talking about everything that has happened. I guess even the spiritual journey that we were talking about earlier on, I was intentional about that I'm going to go through that journey, and it's manifesting itself through the decisions that I'm making in living my life differently from how I've lived my life before. And a lot of people out there might not agree with it. Same way, marketing Mofi, the way one has over the years, a lot of people didn't agree with it. A lot of professionals were, even my friends who were lawyers, who were brand specialists, who were business people themselves. Even just a lot of my friends were professionals, and just a lot of people just stopped taking my calls. A lot of people were against, people were criticizing me in a manner in which I was doing my thing and promoting this brand. Even just having the can everywhere I go. It was just like, and then it about this can everywhere he goes, and that's how I built our billion dollar business, because that's what it's going to become. And that's, the systems and processes that we've been putting in place, building it to get to that level. That's why we had to go get all the professionals, people who've built businesses of that magnitude to come and assist us to build this baby, because we don't have the experience. We've never done it before. So let them come and help us build this baby. Let them come on board. We just are the entrepreneurs with the vision, but let the right people, the right professionals, people who are trained to do this. Your ex-Coca-Colas, your ex-Red Bull guys, all these people with the right expertise, distribution expertise, packaging expertise, flavors, all these different things that we do in our company, even in the manufacturing side, etc. Let them come and just grow this baby. And that's been our struggle over there. That's what we've been able to do. Right? And it makes me happy that it has turned out the way it's turned out. But just from starting it that way. And that way, in Narunkadi chance, people thought we had like millions and millions and millions of amount of money. We knew what we were doing. We don't know what we were doing. We're taking chances. We're just very arrogant about it. I don't even say arrogant, but a lot of people say we're arrogant. The way in which we were communicating it. And people were saying we're very radical. People were saying we're very brash. We're very loud. People were saying we're very messy and reckless. It's that youthful energy. Somehow it worked out for us, and I wouldn't advise anybody else out there to to do it the same way we did it. We're very radical and we're very aggressive. Our approach, it worked for us. Might not work for you, and we're also in a business that is cutthroat. It's in the street. It's dealing with the masses, and it's a low cost product. It's $10. It's a red race. You're fighting with other products that are just coming in slightly cheaper. And people are not buying the brand because it's black owned. People who actually make the business make money is not the end consumer. The end consumer might want more fire, but that spaza shop that they're buying from makes the decision for them, because they'll tell them, no, we don't have more fire. We've got Switch, we've got Dragon, Play, Red Bull, and Monster. And then, okay, cool, let me take this one, right? So they decide on behalf of but even them, they might want, the spaza shop owner might want more fire. Marhaba lost stock at that cash and carry. They decide also for those spaza shop owners that buy from them. They might say, no. We are buying whatever, bargaining. So it's a matter of uthengise ayikho na. And that's what Mofa has been over there, is because of the lack of distribution, penetration, especially in the first 5 years. Now things are becoming better. It's penetrating and it's growing. We really, really are growing, signing up a lot of clients. It was very difficult in the beginning. But people who decide for the clients are these big players. But if you mobilize the public long enough, like we have, non-stop with the same messaging over and over, at some point, that pressure will be felt by that spaza shop owner. Next time, reka, because of this people that keep on. What about more fire? Why are you more fire? More fire, and then again, can lose a chelete. So why are so many people asking about more fire? So now, high stocker next time, education carrying or wherever they stock. Hey man, guys, don't you have more fire? Labor it's the same thing. Hey man, a lot of our clients of these pasta shop owners are always asking about this more fire, more fire. Okay, let's start selling more fire now. Now this guy also who, so it trickles down. So, but it's how we have managed to mobilize the public, which is a difficult thing to do. People are good at that as political parties. People who mobilize the public, not just for one Saturday event. No, you're mobilizing the public mentally to start buying local brands. You know how big that is? You're getting people out of their comfort zone to stop buying their Dragon, to stop buying their whatever they're buying, to buy more fire. It's not easy, my bruh. It's not easy. It's difficult, bruh. You're dealing with change of mindset. You're dealing with that guy who sells in the corner and says, yeah, more fire when I sell it, I only make 2 rand. When I sell Dragon, I make 3 rand. More fire when I sell it, I only make 2 rand or I only make 4 rand. With Dragon, I make 6 rand. So they look at things like that. So yes, we love smooth. But politics of the stomach, Zahara, we make more money by selling this one. So what do you do when you're building a business like that? So those are some of the little things that business people face in this space. And as you grow, also there's something called growing pains. Growing pains, it's like when your muscles start growing. Yes. Some people even end up having body stretch marks. It's growing pains, right? Or just growing out of your comfort zone. Just those growing pains. Growth. There's just pains that you go through. So even as a company grows, it's got its own pains that it goes through. We're going through our own pains, our own challenges. But they say as you succeed, the challenges also become bigger. But it's a beautiful thing because you've got good problems to deal with. It's no longer those old problems when you're starting. You can see the growth. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see that what you've sacrificed for, you've made the right decisions. But you're also dealing with problems of that magnitude as well, which I think is a great thing. So it was a great decision to go out on stage and promote this thing that day. Changed my life forever.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes, sir.